You are breaking. You are cracking under the pressure of your own life because you have become too hard, too rigid, and too resistant to the flow of reality. We are taught that strength means standing like a rock, immovable, stubborn, and unyielding against the storms of fate. We build fortresses around our egos, believing that if we are hard enough, we cannot be hurt. But look at the nature of the world. The rigid tree snaps in the wind, while the bamboo bends and survives. The hard rock eventually crumbles into sand, but the water that crashed against it remains eternal. Ask yourself this: are you exhausted from constantly fighting the current? Are you tired of trying to force the world to fit into your square box of expectations? The ancient masters, from Lao Tzu to the Zen patriarchs, pointed to one element as the supreme teacher of wisdom: water. Water is the softest thing in the world, yet it can penetrate the hardest. It has no shape, yet it can take any shape. It has no ego, yet it conquers all obstacles. Be like water, they whispered. To flow through life with ease is not to give up. It is to win without fighting. Today, we will dissolve the ice of your anxiety. We will explore 10 meditative lessons on the philosophy of flow, teaching you how to become the river instead of the dam. The great martial artist and philosopher Bruce Lee famously said, "You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle." This is the first lesson of water: radical adaptation. Most of our suffering comes from our refusal to accept the container we are currently in. We complain that the job is too small, the relationship is too constricting, or the city is too loud. We remain rigid ice cubes, clashing against the glass, creating friction and noise. But water does not complain about the shape of the vessel. It adapts instantly, filling the space, finding peace in the present form without losing its essence. To be like water is to surrender your rigidity. If life asks you to be a leader, you expand. If life asks you to be a follower, you condense. You are not compromising your soul by adapting. You are preserving it. The rigid sword breaks upon impact. The water wraps around the blade and continues its flow. Human beings are obsessed with climbing. We want to be on top of the corporate ladder, top of the social hierarchy, top of the mountain. We believe that height equals power, but the Tao Te Ching reminds us, all streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. Water always seeks the lowest ground. It does not fight to be elevated. It flows willingly into the valleys, the cracks, and the deep places that others avoid. By taking the low position, water gathers volume and strength. The person who is humble, who listens rather than speaks, who serves rather than commands, becomes the ocean. If you try to stand on your tiptoes, you are unstable. If you sit on the ground, you cannot be knocked over. Be like water. Do not be afraid of the low places. It is in the depths that you find the true connection with the world. There is a paradox in nature. That which is soft is strong, and that which is hard is weak. Look at the Grand Canyon. It was carved not by a giant hammer, but by a river. Water is patient. It does not try to shatter the rock with a single blow. It simply flows over it day after day, year after year. This is the lesson of persistence. You often try to force your goals with bursts of manic energy, only to burn out when the obstacle doesn't move. But the soft approach wins in the end. A gentle, consistent effort is more powerful than a violent, sporadic one. If you face a stubborn problem, a difficult person, a bad habit, do not attack it with a sledgehammer. Be the steady drip that wears away the stone of resistance. Softness overcomes hardness because softness cannot be broken. You cannot shatter a wave. You can only yield to it. When a river encounters a massive boulder in its path, it does not stop and argue with the rock. It does not get angry that the rock is there. It simply flows around it. It finds the path of least resistance, the Wu Wei effortless action. We, however, crash into our obstacles. We fixate on the blocked door, banging our fists against it, demanding it open, while the window next to it is wide open. To be like water is to embrace the detour. If your plan is blocked, do not force it. Change your course. The water reaches the ocean regardless of how many turns it takes. Your destination is destiny. Your path is flexible. Do not waste your energy fighting the inevitable. If the wall is too high, flow underneath the crack. Imagine a pond. When the wind blows and the water is agitated, it reflects nothing but broken shards of light. It is chaotic. This is the anxious mind. When you are rushing, worrying, and reacting, you cannot see reality clearly. You see only your own agitation. But when the wind dies down and the water becomes still, it becomes a perfect mirror. It reflects the moon, the stars, and the trees exactly as they are. This is the lesson of clarity. To see the truth of your life, you must learn to become still. You do not need to do anything to calm the water. You just need to stop stirring it, leave your mind alone, and the mud will settle. When you are still like water, you possess the superpower of reflection. You see the world, not your projection of it. Look at the ocean during a hurricane. On the surface, there are 50-foot waves, foam, and terrifying violence. But if you dive just 30 feet down, there is silence. The fish swim calmly, unaffected by the chaos above. We often live our lives trapped on the surface, tossed around by the waves of emotion, anger, joy, fear, excitement. To be like water is to remember your depth. You are not the waves. You are the ocean. When a crisis happens, do not react from the surface level of your ego. Sink deeper, access the place within you that is vast, deep, and untouched by the weather of circumstance. The storm cannot hurt the deep water. Water is the ultimate shapeshifter. It can be a solid block of ice, a flowing river, or an invisible vapor rising to the sky. It holds on to no identity. It is willing to die as ice to become water, and willing to die as water to become cloud. We suffer because we cling to our forms. I am a banker, I am a husband, I am successful. We freeze ourselves into ice statues, but life is a cycle of constant change. To flow with ease, you must be willing to let your old identity evaporate. Do not be afraid of transitions. The mist is not lost. It is simply ascending. Allow yourself to change. You are not a fixed object. You are a process, a flowing energy that never ends. Water is the great purifier. It washes away the dust of the day, the blood of the battle, and the stagnation of the swamp. It does not judge the dirt. It does not say, I will only wash the clean things. It embraces the filth and carries it away. We hold on to the dirt of our past, our grudges, our guilt, our traumas. We let them stagnate in our hearts like a swamp. To be like water is to practice constant forgiveness. Let the events of yesterday flow through you and away from you. Do not hoard the past. Be a river, not a reservoir. Fresh water must flow in, and old water must flow out. Cleanse your mind every morning. Start fresh, clear, and ready to reflect the new day. Have you ever seen water struggle? Have you ever seen a river stressed because it might not reach the sea? No, it trusts gravity. It surrenders to the pull of the earth. It moves without effort, yet it arrives exactly when it is supposed to. We live in a state of chronic resistance. We argue with reality, wishing things were different, wishing we were elsewhere. Resistance creates friction, and friction creates burnout. Flow creates momentum. When you stop fighting your life and start trusting the flow of it, you enter a state of grace. You stop rowing and put up the sail. Trust that the universe knows the way. Your job is not to steer the river. Your job is to navigate the boat. finally, water teaches us the ultimate truth of existence, unity. A wave appears to be a separate thing, with a beginning and an end, but the wave is just the ocean acting as a wave. It was never separate. When it crashes on the shore, it does not die. It returns to the water. We think we are separate egos, fighting against other egos. This illusion of separation is the source of all our fear. To be like water is to realize you are part of the whole. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. When you realize this, fear dissolves. How can you lose anything when you are everything? Flow into the arms of the universe. Return to the source. Be one. The way of water is the way of peace. It is the strength that looks like weakness and the victory that looks like surrender. Stop being the rock. Stop trying to hold your shape against the crushing weight of the world. Melt, flow, adapt. Let go of the illusion of control, and you will gain the power of the ocean. Be soft, be strong, be like water,